Hello and welcome to Bounding into Comics. My name is John Trent. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief at Bounding into Comics. Today we've got a story about the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney+, as we got a new first look at a number of images from Entertainment Weekly, as well as some more details about the series from the actors involved. Before we get into those details, I do want to say that this show is dead on arrival for me, and it's mainly because of what Ewan McGregor said, continuing of the same trend that we see Lucasfilm doing with all of their characters. They want to absolutely destroy them, break them down, deconstruct them, and then rebuild them in this absolutely horrific vision of what they think that these characters should be, rather than what the characters were before Disney acquired them. And Ewan McGregor makes it very clear that's what they're going to do with Obi-Wan Kenobi, because speaking to Entertainment Weekly, he said, "We find Obi-Wan at the beginning of our story rather broken and faithless and beaten, somewhat given up." If this sounds familiar, it should, because it's exactly what they did to Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. And it definitely appears that's what they're going to be doing to Obi-Wan Kenobi as well. I would argue this is also something what they did with Boba Fett as well, which they just recently did. But I completely disagree with this assertion that Ewan McGregor makes about Obi-Wan Kenobi. And maybe that's how he is in the show, but if you actually look at the timeline and the story of Star Wars and where it ended off, which was in Revenge of the Sith, he is not broken, faithless, and beaten or somewhat given up. It's the exact opposite. He is tasked with killing Anakin Skywalker and stopping him. And while he doesn't kill him, he does wound him, chops his legs off, and then leaves him to die on Mustafar. As we know, he survives that and becomes Darth Vader. And while that did clearly emotionally affect him, it didn't break him. It didn't make him faithless. He wasn't rejecting the Jedi Order. He wasn't beaten down, depressed, and had given up on life. It's the exact opposite. He actually volunteers to take Luke Skywalker to his Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru on Tatooine. He tells Yoda at the end of the Revenge of the Sith, "I will take the child and watch over him." I don't think a broken, faithless, or beaten, or somewhat given up person volunteers to take on the responsibility of watching over a young child. That just isn't what happens. People who are like that don't volunteer to watch over the son of their former best friend. But not only does he volunteer to watch over Luke Skywalker, Yoda actually gives him a task, a mission. Yoda tells him, "In your solitude on Tatooine, training I have for you, an old friend has learned the path to immortality, one who has returned from the netherworld of the Force, your old master. How to commune with him I will teach you." So clearly, he's not faithless when he's being tasked to work with Qui-Gon Jinn and learn more about the faith, learn more about the Jedi Order. It's an absolutely ridiculous assertion to claim that he is now faithless at the beginning of this story. Nothing that we have seen in Revenge of the Sith or even the original Star Wars film show that Obi-Wan Kenobi would be faithless, broken, beaten, or somewhat given up. That is just not what we see in those two movies. So on top of this comment from McGregor, we also got a number of other details about the show, which appear to confirm a number of the rumors that have been surrounding the show. We got a first look at Moses Ingram's Inquisitor Reva. And then Entertainment Weekly describes this character, saying that the character will prove a formidable new foe as she seeks out Jedi in hiding for the Empire. Ingram would also confirm the presence of the Grand Inquisitor, explaining that her character, the Grand Inquisitor, and Darth Vader share a common dark side goal. There's even one image showing Reva facing off against Joel Edgerton's Uncle Owen. Finally, Entertainment Weekly revealed that McGregor indeed will be traveling off-planet, specifically to a new planet called Dayu. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. The series' writer, Joby Harold, says the planet sort of has a Hong Kong feel to it. It's got a graffiti-ridden nightlife, and it's kind of edgy. It's just got a different lane and a different feeling. Much of this was teased in a recent plot leak from Making Star Wars that claims the series sees Reva alongside a number of other Inquisitors and the Grand Inquisitor arriving on Tatooine to track down a Jedi named Nari, who is seeking out Kenobi to rebuild the Jedi Order. In fact, the alleged leak claims Reva goes on a tear on Tatooine, maiming a number of individuals, with one such instance being witnessed by Uncle Owen, who believes the Inquisitors have arrived on Tatooine to locate Kenobi. In fact, he believes Kenobi's presence has put Luke at risk. Making Star Wars would go on to detail that this idea of Luke being in danger is what motivates Kenobi to leave Tatooine, along with the idea that the Inquisitors have allegedly set a trap where they have kidnapped Princess Leia in an attempt to lure out any Jedi. Kenobi is notified of the kidnapping of Princess Leia by Bail Organa. Leia is reportedly taken to a planet that Making Star Wars described as Reno if it were a Star Wars planet, and that description appears to match up with what Joby Harold is describing as Dayu. So it's not a lot of new information. It's almost just confirming the information that we already had if you've been paying attention to any of the rumors. And again, to me, it just reinforces this idea that Lucasfilm really has no idea what they're doing with Star Wars. They don't fundamentally understand the characters. They fundamentally don't understand the Force. They just don't understand what this property is all about. And they've gone about it, and they are trying to remake it into an image that they want it to be, which is not Star Wars. And Kathleen Kennedy's been upfront about, about saying that's what she's doing. You just have to go back and look at some of her old. But again, I think that this Obi-Wan Kenobi show is dead on arrival. Ewan McGregor's latest comments describing Obi-Wan Kenobi as rather broken and faithless and beaten, somewhat given up, just confirms that to me, because that is not Obi-Wan Kenobi. That is not who Obi-Wan Kenobi is, just like that is not who Luke Skywalker is and not who Luke Skywalker was before Rian Johnson got his hands on the character and completely maimed it. And then Jon Favreau obviously doubled down on that with his depiction of Luke Skywalker in the Book of Boba Fett. Those are my thoughts on the matter. Let me know what you think. My name is John Trent, and you've been watching Bounding in Comics.